Hey everybody, this is Mr. Longo, and in this video we are going to review two very crucial Algebra 1 skills that will be very helpful for factoring. And let's just jump to it. First one is called distributing. When you distribute, what you are doing is multiplying a term in front of parentheses to all terms inside. So for example, this 2 is going to be multiplied to both terms on the inside. So 2 times x would be 2x, and 2 times a negative 3 would be a negative 6, and we're done. That's what distributing is. It's multiplying to all terms on the inside. This negative 3, if we were to multiply this negative 3 to x squared, we are going to get negative 3x squared. If we were to multiply a negative 3 to a negative 3x, we would get a positive 9x. And finally, if we were to do this one more time and multiply a negative 3 to 4, we would get a negative 12, and boom, that's it. So that is distributing. So when you do it with an x, it's the same skill. You're just multiplying x to any term on the inside. So if we multiplied an x to an x squared, we're going to end up with x cubed. And if we were to multiply a negative 5 by an x, we would get a negative 5x. And done. So the last example here ties in all three of the previous skills in a way, where you're distributing a number, a negative, or a variable. If you would like to try to do this on your own, please pause the video and go for it. But if you'd like to just watch me do it, here we go. A negative 2 times 2 is a negative 4, and x squared times x squared is x to the 4th power. That was this times this term. Now we're going to do that entire term times a negative x. A negative 2 times a negative 1 turns into a positive 2. And x squared times x to the 1st power is x cubed. And finally, the last one, a negative 2x squared times a negative 3. The negative 2 times a negative 3 turns into a positive 6. And then, of course, we still have our x squared. And that's distributing. Now, the reason why I wanted to cover that is when you are factoring out greatest common factors, you're just reversing your thinking. So if we had 2x minus 6 and we wanted to know what is the greatest common factor both terms have, it would be a 2. And you would just divide both of these terms by 2, and you would end up with an x minus 3 on the inside. See? That's why I wanted to review some of these skills. Next up is multiplying binomials. Now, you might have learned this in a number of different ways. You might have reviewed it as one term called foiling. It's just a little way of saying that you're doing the first term times the other first term, and then you're doing the outer terms. But we're just going to review it a number of different ways, okay? So for example, you could do x times x, which is going to give you x squared. Those are your first terms. And then you can do x times 2, which is going to give you a 2x. After you've multiplied the first term to all terms in the second piece, you can do 3 times x, which is going to be 3x, and then 3 times 2, which is going to give us 6. That gave us all possible combinations. Now what you always have to do after that is combine any like terms that you have. So 2x plus 3 is going to give us x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay? Now, like I said, there are multiple ways to do this. Some people learned what I've heard it called the box method, where you basically take your terms. So here's your 2x and a negative 3. Here's your x and a positive 5. And what you're going to do with those is multiply each combination. So 2x times x is 2x squared. Negative 3 times x is a negative 3x. 2x times 5 is a 10x, and a 5 times a negative 3 is a negative 15. And then what you do is combine your like terms again. So in this case, we have a 10x and a negative 3x, which of course would make a 7x, but then we still have our 2x squared, and we have our minus 15 at the end. And the last way I've seen this done, it's like a double distributing method. So what you're going to do is take your x plus 2 and write it twice. And then you're going to take the first term and you're going to put it in front of the first set. And then you're going to take the second term and you're going to put it in front of the second set. And then you just distribute. So x squared times x is an x cubed. X squared times 2 is a 2x squared. And then you distribute the 9, or the negative 9. So negative 9 times x is a negative 9x. And a negative 9 times 2 is a negative 18. And then from there, what you do is combine like terms, or in this case, there aren't any, but you put it all together. So you have an x cubed plus 2x squared minus 9x minus 18. Now again, this is a review video. Those are 3 different ways that I have seen students use to multiply 2 binomials together. So I just wanted to review some essential topics. I hope you found this video helpful. This is Longo and I'm out. See you, bye.